time for classes. Yes, I left my good job and moved to Turkey. A job in the Gambia in an embassy where I was getting paid in dollars, free food, free medical, plus benefits, allowances. In fact, I left 2 jobs. I moved to Turkey. No friends, no family, no kids, nothing. I went to Turkey. I had no idea Turkey was even a business center.
In my heart, I'm still hurting. It's the waters in my eyes, I can't stop falling.
Now, before I deep dive into my previous video that I made, those of you following my channel, I made a previous video telling you guys that it's been over a year since I was consistent on my YouTube, and now I want to take my YouTube journey seriously. So I made that clip. Okay, before I even go further, I told you guys that I was going to make a chapati on my previous video. So I'll show you how it came out. Oh, soft, as you can see. Kitchen, guys, look at this. I don't know if it's what you ordered versus what you get, but it tastes so good and it is soft. So let's dip down into what actually happened. Why did I make a decision to actually go to Turkey? Why did I abandon everything and relocated to Istanbul? Honestly, my journey did not start from Turkey. Now let's go to 5-6 years ago. I left my good job and moved to Turkey without a plan. Let me take you back a little bit, because if I am going to start this YouTube channel journey, you need to understand how I became the person I am today. And honestly, my story did not start with Istanbul. It all started back in 2011 when I was sitting to my WAS exams, my grade 12 WAS exams. I've always been this ambitious child. I've always knew that I came from little, and I've always known that I am never ever going to settle for less. So back then, when I used to sit to my exams, when I was sitting to my WAS exams, grade 12, and that was comprehensive senior secondary school, I always, anytime we have exams or have papers, immediately after I'm done sitting to a particular subject, the next thing is I will not head home. I will head straight to the offices. I will head straight to Standard and Observer, and I'll be looking for newspapers wherein jobs are always featured. Okay. So on a lucky day, one day after sitting to my paper, I eventually found an ad on one of the newspapers that KWT radio station was looking for an intern. I quickly applied and I got it. So I started working at KWT radio. I was there until it was bought by Africell, and then it became Afri Radio. So in 2012, I actually thought I had found my passion. That was when I thought I had found my career, what I want to do, what I want to achieve. So, and this career was flight attendant, cabin crew. So I thought I had really found my passion. So I attended the Institute of Travel and Tourism, also known as ITalk. I was a student there in 2012. Then I graduated. With distinctions and with a Best Student Award for my batch. So because of my dedication and hard work, before I left, I think they didn't have the lecturer that taught us was outgoing. So since iTalk is in partnership with Central College Nottingham in the UK, these people came. We did a little bit of teachers training. I was given the modules how to do the job. I was trained. So eventually I started teaching as a lecturer in that same institute. So we went on and on. In 2013, I took part in a beauty pageant, and there was an announcement at the end of the pageant that says all the contestants can apply. This embassy is looking for such and such positions. Now all these contestants in this beauty pageant can apply. So that was how I applied, and I got the job in 2014. But I still did not quit the teaching job. So because I worked at the embassy from Monday to Friday at 12 p.m. I would go to teach at the Institute of Travel and Tourism Friday after prayers after 2 p.m. to Fridays and Saturdays to like 5 p.m. So I was handling both at the same time, and everything was okay. So the reason why I chose cabin crew is because, let me take you down memory lane. The reason why I chose cabin crew is because I wanted to make a name. I think I mistook aesthetics for passion. Yes, I mistook aesthetics for passion because, listen, I studied cabin crew and airport operations, yes? And let me tell you something about me. I love traveling. Yeah, I love traveling. So back in the days, I knew I love adventure. I hate boring. And at that age, when I look at cabin crew, I saw the traveling, the beautiful uniforms, the airport, meeting people from different countries. Oh my God, the lifestyle. And I thought, that's it. I said, that's it. This is what I'm supposed to do. But looking back now, I thought I confused passion with aesthetics, because actually, I just love the idea of the lifestyle. But I also had the skills for it. I could communicate. I was comfortable around people. I could speak in front of people. I was hardworking. And I took that course very seriously. I actually became the best student in my batch for cabin crew and airport operations. I received several distinctions and I was extremely proud of myself. And something else happened during that period. The embassy had to change administration. Our ambassador was actually going back. His term was finished. We had a new ambassador. When this ambassador came, the embassy was sponsoring me to do a course in international relations and politics. I was actually doing the course. I was now in diploma level. When the new ambassador, female ambassador came, it's as if I was a threat. It's as if they told her something about me. The hatred was undeniable. I faced challenges. I faced battles I never even thought I had in that office. And 1 month, on June 2017, I made a decision. I said, you know what? I'm traveling this month and I'm not coming back. I left. So when I left for Istanbul with no plan. The only plan I left with was that I knew I was going to attend the Emirates International Airlines open day, because my mind was like, go to Turkey. Emirates always comes to Turkey every single month. Give it a shot. Have an open mind. You never know what to expect. So I left for Istanbul. Istanbul changed me. Istanbul has shaped my life so much that I never thought. I left my job. I left the Gambia. I went to Istanbul. And here's the crazy part. I didn't know a single soul. I didn't have a whole plan for my life in Turkey apart from the Emirates recruitment opportunity. That's it. I wasn't sitting in the Gambia with some huge business plan thinking I'm going to Turkey to become an entrepreneur. Absolutely not. I never had any idea about entrepreneurship in the Gambia all my life since I finished school. I have been working, earning. But Turkey shaped my life forever. I left the Gambia. I went to Turkey. I didn't know a single soul in Turkey. I didn't have a whole life planned in Turkey. My immediate plan was just to explore the Emirates recruitment opportunity because I was so obsessed with being a cabin crew. I was so obsessed. I used to say to myself, it's either I become a cabin crew or I become a pilot. Back then in the Gambia, my room had posters. All over my room was just posters of Emirates flights, Emirates cabin crew, Emirates business lounge, Emirates, even on the refrigerator at home. I left. That's it. I wasn't sitting in the Gambia with some huge business plan thinking I'm going to go to Turkey, Istanbul and become an entrepreneur. Absolutely not. I absolutely had no idea what was waiting for me in Istanbul. And when I arrived in Istanbul, I was introduced to an entirely different world. A world I didn't know existed. A world of business, entrepreneurship, people doing things I had never seen and considered. A world of tech. A world where you have to think fast. A world of survival of the fittest. And suddenly my mind started opening. I always knew I wasn't made for the Gambia. Gambia is too small. Istanbul was what expanded my mind, my head, my brain, my thinking. Nowadays my mind is like a storm. It's packed with ideas. I'm always thinking about innovation. I'm always thinking about the next solution to solve. I'm always thinking. It was in Istanbul that I finally knew my purpose. My story teaches us about the decisions we make in life. My story teaches us about the risk we take in life. My story teaches us and enlightens us about how our decisions in life can sometimes determine our destiny. And Istanbul was where another chapter of my life actually began. But there is something I didn't know at the time. That 5 years later, my life will take a drastic turn. That I will lose almost everything I have struggled for in Istanbul. I got scammed. I got scammed by a Malian boy. Someone I will tell you about. Experiences has shaped me. Experiences has changed me. Turkey has changed me. It's not the best country in the world, but Turkey is that country that changed and shaped my life forever. And indeed, our decisions really determines our destiny. But I am a risk taker. For me, it's either I take the risk or lose the chance or nothing. Because sometimes, you never know what's waiting for you on the other side of the road if you don't take the risk. I want you to see this journey, the decision, what it cost me, the risk, the mistakes, the things that worked, the things that didn't work, the different brands that I started, the people that I met, the adventures I embarked on. the other side of people, the beautiful side of people, the ugliest side of people, the colors I have seen in human beings that I've never seen in a crayon box. How the closest people to you are the ones you should be most careful about sometimes in our life. So that's where I'm going to take you. I thought I was simply going there to explore an opportunity, get a job at the Emirates, finally get to wear the Emirates uniform, walk through the airport, be an icon, it's a flex, get to travel all over the world, sleep in Milan, go to Monaco, go to Africa, have layovers, enjoy different dishes, obviously get to be employed to or promoted to business class or VIP or private jets, work in private people's private jets, as a cabin crew recruited by Emirates International Airlines, save some money, eventually go to the Emirates University, do a pilot course. I had a whole life of imagination planned in my head, not knowing that there is a different reality. And I definitely had no idea what was coming 5 years later, like I said. But that's another story for another day. Now I am currently in Gambia. I'm not even going to get started with Gambia now because it's another package waiting to be discovered. Subscribe to my channel if you find this interesting. If you're in your 20s or you're in your 30s, do not make the same mistakes that I make. I'm not stopping you from taking risks. In fact, I have no regrets because I've always known that this, my head that I have, is like a stone. I've always known that I would never settle for less. I didn't come from a rich family, but a rich family is going to come from me. I've always known, I knew in Turkey what I wanted. I had a purpose in Turkey. I left with no purpose, but I came back with a purpose. And if I should have one more opportunity, just one, I'm not starting from scratch. I'm starting with 10 million ideas already written down. I'm starting from experiences. I'm starting with leadership qualities. I'm starting with entrepreneurial skills. I'm starting with marketing skills. I'm starting with online skills that I took online. Online courses, experiences, businesses. Having the ability to be able to deal with different nationalities from Istanbul. Do you want to know what happened next? Stay tuned for episode 3.